Now, from 41 NBC Sports, it's time for Friday Night Football scores and highlights. You're in the end zone. Brought to you in part by Fresh Air Barbecue, affordable storage of Jones County, and attorney Mike Costello, with Bill Shanks, Tucker Sargent, and Montez Allen.
Happy Friday and good evening. I'm Bill Shanks from Middle Georgia's ESPN. Welcome to our final broadcast of 2019. Tonight, we've got two teams in the state championships in Atlanta. Montez will join us in a bit with the championship in 5A between Warner Robins and Buford. Let's get started with the game from earlier this afternoon, Dublin versus Brooks County. The Fighting Irish have been remarkably good this season, scoring 46.5 points per game. The running game has been the story. Dublin entered today's championship game with 5,748 rushing yards as a team. Jaquez Evans has led the way with 2,344 rushing yards and 39 touchdowns. Roger Holmes of the Fighting Irish faced a Brooks County team with a record of 10-4 after a 4-point win over Callaway last week in the semifinals. Dublin beat Brooks County 49-35 back on September the 20th in Quitman. Today, it was for the AA state championship. Here we go, back to the former Turner Field, now Panther Stadium in Atlanta. First quarter, Brooks County started on their own 23. Dublin's defense coming through early. Pass tipped and picked off by Quay Ashley, who's going to take it back for Dublin all the way to the 13-yard line. 4 plays later, 4th and goal for Dublin. Jaquez Evans, bulldozers, look at him go. Get out of my way. Touchdown. PAT would be no good, though, and it's 6-0 Dublin. 8 minutes in the first. Brooks gets it back, 4th and 5 from the 25 of the Trojans. Nitavius Burris finds Raquan Manning, who snags it down the Dublin 20. Then next play, Burris with the pitch to Amari Arnold, who breaks one tackle and does the rest. Brought down inside the 8, pickup of 12. Now Trojans in the Wildcat. Watch this, Amari Arnold goes right up the middle for the 9-yard run. Touchdown, extra point, good, and it's 7-6 Trojans. Third down now and for Dublin. And 3 and out rather for Dublin. Brooks gets it back at their own 28. Burris fires, connects Devin Edwards, and he's gone. How about that? 73 yards to the house, touchdown. Extra point, no good. Where are the kickers? Trojans up 14-6 after the first quarter. Third quarter now, 14-9 Brooks. Dublin's run game picking up. Marcus Adams, watch him on the carry. And watch him go for the touchdown. How about 58 yards to the end zone? Get your game on. PAT no good. 15-14 Dublin. Now, 3 and out by Brooks County. Dublin back on offense. Markel Mitchell keeps it himself. Another big gain for the Fighting Irish. First down to Brooks 16. Zion Kemp wants to be included. Look at that run right there, about the 7. Very next play, 1st and goal. Marcus Adams with the carry. He's going to fumble it. I don't think he was down. For some reason, the Georgia High School Association still doesn't have replay, and that's stupid. After what happened to Peach County, you don't have replay. He was really down, but they allowed Brooks County to go score. Tyrick Thomas scoops it up, goes 93 yards. 2-point conversion, no good, 20-15. Brooks County out on top. Dublin back in striking distance now, back to its bread and butter. Jaquez Evans moving the change to the 14. Later, Evans again, watching, running all over people down to 2. Then Markel Mitchell tops it off with a quarterback keeper in there. Touchdown, 21-20. Dublin now on top. 1:30 left in the third period. Here we go. 1st and 10 for the Trojans. They fumble it on the pitch, and Dublin gets it back. What a great break that was. Crucial turnover by Brooks County, and Dublin takes advantage. Zion Kemp from 5 yards out. Watching. He's got it. Touchdown, Dublin. That makes it 28-20. Fighting Irish on top. Brooks County not going down without a fight, though. Watch them. Dublin gets a dose of its own medicine with this running game. Amari Arnold breaks out for a 65-yard run, and he's going to score. That made it 28-26. Dublin still up by 2 points. Fourth quarter, Dublin's ground attack still going. Markel Mitchell, he gone. Touchdown, Dublin, 55 yards. You're not going to catch him. That made it 35-26 Dublin, and the Fighting Irish hold on and win the state championship. 42-32 the final. Dublin wins it all in AA, and here's their great head coach, Roger Holmes.
You've got to be a tough, hard-nosed dude to line up and run the football play after play after play. And that's what we do. It's not necessarily what we always want to do, but that's what this team did best. We hung our hat on that offensive line, and they carried us to the state championship.
They were awesome this year. What a great season for the Fighting Irish. I remember when Coach Holmes was in here for Coach's Corner back in July, and you kind of thought he had something special going on. Dublin rushed for 437 yards on 73 carries today. Again, they averaged 410 this year per game. Jaquez Evans, 40 carries for 188 yards and a touchdown. Mitchell, 9 for 94 with 2 touchdowns. Kemp, 13 carries for 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. Adams, 10 for 70 for 1 touchdown. A great running attack by the Dublin Fighting Irish, and they are the state champs in AA. Up later, Warner Robins goes for their first state title in 15 years. More of the End Zone right after this.
More highlights coming up on the End Zone. Tonight's catered meal for the End Zone crew, provided by Zaxby's. Indescribably good chicken. Indescribably great support of our community. You're in the End Zone. Brought to you in part by Fresh Air Barbecue, affordable storage of Jones County, and attorney Mike Hostelow, with Bill Shanks, Tucker Sargent, and Montez Allen.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Well, it's been a good year of football here in Middle Georgia, but what makes it great is all the fans. Here's a look back at some of the best fans on 41 NBC's Fan Cam.
You're watching Fan Cam on 41 NBC. Go Trojans! Bring it on back! Bring it on back! Go Cavs! Go Page County! We're the Stratford Eagles, and you're watching Fan Cam on 41 NBC.
And thanks to all the fans for getting out and support all the high school teams this year. We'll take a break, but first, here's our Band of the Week.
It's time for the 41 NBC Band of the Week, sponsored by Zaxby's. Submit your video to 41NBC.com/band.
I'm Jay Davis, Director of Bands at Houston County High School and Director of the Black and Silver Brigade Marching Band. This is my 5th year at Houston County. Very excited about our season. Favorite part of teaching band is just being around the students and watching them grow and mature as musicians and as people, and just really looking forward to a great season this year.
Capture your favorite band for the 41 NBC Band of the Week, sponsored by Zaxby's.
Don't forget, you can watch the End Zone live on the 41 NBC app. Download today. Tonight's catered meal for the End Zone crew, provided by Zaxby's. Indescribably good chicken. Indescribably great support of our community. Continues inside the End Zone.
Hey, don't forget me on the radio. Middle Georgia's ESPN is on 93.1 FM in Macon, 105.9 FM in Warner Robins, along with 98.3 FM all over South Central Georgia. Join me weekdays at 3 for the Bill Shanks Show. You can also listen live online at thesuperstations.com. To the scoreboard to check on the other championship games. This morning's game was Eagles Landing. They beat Wesleyan in Single A Private School Championship game 33-13. It's the 5th consecutive state title for Eagles Landing, which is a state of Georgia record. They are a machine up there in McDonough. Tonight, in the 6A state championship game, it was Allatoona and Harrison wins that one by the score of 20-7. Now, tomorrow morning, in the first game will be the Single A Public School state title game between Irwin County and Marion County. Irwin County's 12-0, going for its first state title since 1975, while Marion County last won it all in 2013. Now, our other Middle Georgia / South Central Georgia team playing in the finals is Chris County. The Cougars will play Cedar Grove tomorrow at 1 at Panther Stadium in the AAA Championship. This game will be broadcast on radio on Middle Georgia's ESPN. This is the first time ever Chris County has been in the state title game. Good luck to Coach Harbor and his talented Cougars. Cedar Grove, the team that knocked out Peach County 2 weeks ago, so this will be a tough game for the Cougars. Saturday at 4:30, it's the Quad A championship game between Blessed Trinity and Oconee County. Blessed Trinity has won the state title the last 2 years in a row. Oconee County has not won it all in 20 years. Then tomorrow night, the final game at 8, the 7A championship, Lowndes and Marietta. It's kind of a north-south thing, right? Lowndes is undefeated so far this season. Marietta 12-2. Lowndes is even ranked nationally, so they'll be the heavy favorites to win this game on Saturday. And we'll wrap up the show right after this.
Visit 41NBC.com to watch and replay all of tonight's highlights. Tonight's catered meal for the End Zone crew provided by Zaxby's. Indescribably good chicken. Indescribably great support of our community. The End Zone highlights again on 41NBC.com.
Welcome back to our show. We apologize. We're having some technical difficulties with our video from the Warner Robins Buford game. That was the 5A state championship game, and unfortunately Buford won this game 17-14 in overtime. Let me just tell you kind of how this all unfolded. Buford got on the board first in the first quarter with a 1-yard run by Gabe Irvin, and that gave them a 7-0 lead. Warner Robins bounced right back in the early part of the second, or late rather in the second quarter. Ahmad Walker had a 2-yard run to tie the game at 7. That was the score at halftime with Buford and Warner Robins. And of course, Buford's been one of the best teams in the state of Georgia through this decade, with 4 state championships coming into this one. Third quarter, Warner Robins got on the board again to take the lead with a 12-yard touchdown run by Jalen Addy, their fine quarterback. That made it 14-7. But with 27 seconds left, believe it or not, Buford got on the board and tied the game on a pass from Isaac to Daniels. And with the PAT, that made it 14-14. They went into overtime. Right before overtime, Warner Robins tried to kick a long 50-yard field goal, and they did not make it. The young man tried it, but it was a little bit wide to the right. So they went into overtime, and then Warner Robins actually had a turnover. Jalen Addy threw an interception that Buford got, and then Buford had a couple of running plays and then lined up for the field goal, and Hayden Olson kicked a 24-yard field goal for Buford to win the state championship for the Buford Wolves. Again, they have been a dominant program in the state of Georgia high school football with their 5th state championship, and unfortunately for Warner Robins, their 3rd year in a row coming up short in the state finals. So a very difficult loss again for the Demons, but their head coach Westbrook had a great year in his first season, and they'll be back, I'm sure, next year with another great year. So we had a great year in high school football this year, really. We had John Millage winning the state championship in the GISA last week with J.T. Wall and his team. They beat Valwood to win the state. Peach County with another great year got to the quarterfinals with Coach Campbell. West Lawrence in Quad A did very well once again, and they got to the quarterfinals. Jones County made it all the way to the semifinals this year in 5A. First year for Mike Chastain, and he did very well with the Greyhounds. They came up short, but still a great year going all the way to the semifinals. And Houston County, how about a great run for the Bears in the postseason? They had a so-so regular season, but they really turned it on and got all the way to the quarterfinals to make the playoffs for the Houston County program. And of course, Dublin, the AA state champions, with just a great season for Roger Holmes. He's one of the best coaches, really, I think one of the longest tenured coaches in Middle Georgia high school football. I think he started in 2002. There are not many coaches now that Barney Hester's an athletic director who have been in the same position like that for as long a period of time as Coach Holmes, but he's done a great job, and that's his 2nd state championship. Of course, they tied with Charlton County back in 2006, so congratulations to all the Fighting Irish fans over there in Lawrence County and in Dublin for their great win. And of course, great season for Warner Robins as well, even though they lost tonight. A great season for Coach Westbrook and the Demons. And go Cougars tomorrow. You'll have the Chris County Cougars going at 1 o'clock again against Cedar Grove and the AAA team. That will be in on the radio as well on Middle Georgia's ESPN. Again, congratulations to Coach Holmes for winning the championship. For the Fighting Irish, the state AA champions, for their 10-point win over Brooks County this afternoon. And Warner Robins has now lost state title game 3 years in a row. They lose another heartbreaker in overtime this afternoon to Buford by 3 points. We want to thank everyone connected to the End Zone, all of our photogs, Tucker Sargent, Montez Allen, Clenard Stokes, Dwayne Hutchison, Marissa Russell, and Mikey Eller. Thanks to David Tufts and Clay Polnod and the entire crew as well. And thank you for joining us each and every Friday night for the last 17 weeks. That's our show. That's our season. I'm Bill Shanks. And for all of us at the End Zone and 41 NBC, good night.